The weight of a name. Think about the last time someone mentioned a name. Not a famous name, not a politician or a celebrity, just the name of someone you know. Before you consciously thought about it, something happened. Perhaps you felt trust, perhaps respect, perhaps caution, perhaps doubt. Maybe you thought if they said they will do it, it will get done. Or perhaps you thought the exact opposite. Why? What gives a name weight? When we are born, a name is little more than a sound, a label, a way for others to identify us. Yet over time, something changes. Promises become attached to it. Actions become attached to it. Successes, failures, responsibilities, sacrifices. Little by little, year after year, a name begins to accumulate meaning. People learn what follows it. They learn whether the person carrying it can be trusted. They learn whether responsibility placed upon their shoulders will be carried or dropped. They learn whether words spoken today will still hold true tomorrow. And eventually, a strange thing happens. The name itself begins to carry weight. Not because the person demanded respect, not because they claimed honor, not because they announced their worth to the world, but because others watched. They watched over years. They watched when things went well, and perhaps even more importantly, they watched when they did not. Because ordeal, well, that's just a part of life, not a detour, not an interruption, part of the road itself. Every life encounters hardship. Every life encounters disappointment. And every life encounters burden. Dreams fail. Plans collapse. People get sick. Jobs disappear. Relationships strain. Responsibilities arrive uninvited. This is not unusual. It is life. And it is often during those moments that the true weight of a name begins to reveal itself. When circumstances are favorable, almost everyone appears dependable. When life becomes difficult, that's when we begin to discover who people really are. Who keeps their word when it becomes inconvenient? Who shows up when they would rather stay home? Who accepts responsibility when excuses would be easier? Who carries burden when there is no applause for doing so? Most names do not gain weight through dramatic moments. Most names gain weight through ordinary choices repeated over time. The friend who always answers the phone. The coworker who follows through. The parent who remains present. The neighbor who can be counted on. The person whose word means something. Not because they're perfect, not because they never fail, but because when they fail, they accept responsibility and continue forward. That matters, perhaps more than we realize. Modern culture often speaks as though reputation is something superficial, something concerned with popularity or image or public approval. Yet that is not what most people mean when they speak highly of someone. When people say they trust a person, they're usually not talking about image. They're talking about experience. They're talking about patterns. They are talking about repeated interactions across years of life. Trust is not granted because someone claims to deserve it. Trust is granted because someone has earned it. One choice at a time. One promise at a time. One responsibility at a time. Every action either adds to or subtracts from the weight of a name. The challenge is that these additions and subtractions, well, they're rarely dramatic. A single promise kept may seem insignificant. A single promise broken may seem insignificant. Yet over years, these moments accumulate. Trust accumulates. Doubt accumulates. Reliability accumulates. Unreliability accumulates. Eventually, people learn exactly what your name means. Not because you told them, because your conduct taught them. This is why responsibility matters. This is why keeping one's word matters. This is why character matters. Not because life is keeping score, but because people are always learning who we are through what we do. The weight of a name is not built in speeches. It is built in conduct, not in declarations, but in decisions. Not in intentions, but in actions. And perhaps this is one reason so many opportunities emerge from hardship. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid ordeal. Yet when we look back upon our lives honestly, many of the qualities we value most were forged there. Patience, discipline, wisdom, resilience, compassion, steadiness. None of these grow particularly well in comfort. They are often shaped by difficulty, by responsibility, by burden, by the necessity of carrying on when circumstances are less than ideal. The opportunity is rarely the hardship itself. The opportunity is who we become while facing it. And who we become eventually becomes attached to our name. There's another aspect to this that I did not fully understand when I was younger. For many years, I thought my name belonged to me. And then I came to realize something. My father gave me that name. I did not create it. I inherited it. And one day, I gave that same name to my sons. It was in that moment that I understood that the name had never truly been mine. I was simply its steward for a time. I inherited it from the man who carried it before me. I carry it as best as I could. And then I passed it on to those who will carry it after me. Perhaps that's true of more than names. Perhaps it's true of families, communities, traditions, organizations. Perhaps much of what matters the most in life follows this same pattern. We receive it, we strengthen it, we pass it on. A name is one of the clearest examples. We inherit it. We spend a lifetime adding to or subtracting from its weight. And eventually, we leave it in the hands of those who come after us. The question is not whether we were given a name. We all were. The question is what meaning we attach to it while we carried it. What did people learn when they heard it? What did they experience when they dealt with us? What did they come to trust? What did they come to expect? Because long after titles have faded, possessions have changed hands, and accomplishments have been forgotten, those answers, they remain. A name gains weight through responsibility carried over time, through promises kept, through burdens borne, through ordeals faced, through opportunities embraced, and through a lifetime of conduct witnessed by others. One day, every one of us will leave that name behind. The question is simple. What will remain attached to it when we do?